Hello and welcome back to my channel. I read only 5-star books in March. They're all 5 stars for very different reasons. I'm so excited to be telling you guys all about them in today's video. I'm also going to show you guys my April TBR. I did a little Instagram chooses my April TBR and that was interesting. Let's get into it. So I started off the month strong with The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I absolutely adored that book. It was fast-paced, it was really wholesome, fake dating relationship, which I haven't really read many tropes of that in books, but I definitely have seen multiple different movies throughout my teenage years and young adulthood that have that trope in it. I always thought it was cute, but this is like the first fake dating book that I've read, and honestly it did not disappoint. It was also my first Ali Hazelwood read, and I'd say that I definitely want to read more of her books. I also bought Love Theoretically in my last video. I'll put up the link for that if you want to go watch that one. So I gave The Love Hypothesis 5 stars because it was a fluffy romance, but it also just did its job. It didn't make anything weird. It wasn't extremely overly cringy. With romance books, that's honestly something that you're just getting yourself into. A ton of cringe and some scenes can just be really uncomfy. This book honestly didn't have a huge focus on adult scenes. It had a little bit of depth to it. It wasn't completely fluffy. I'd rank this in the 5-star fluffy romance category. The Love Hypothesis is about Olive, how she's a woman in STEM and towards her career she's really focused and she's not really interested in dating or finding a boyfriend or anything like that at the moment in her life. She meets Dr. Adam Carlson. He's the first man that she sees whenever she's on a mission to find a fake boyfriend and prove to her best friend that she's not in love with her ex so that her best friend could date her ex, which is a weird situation. And then she takes this way of showing her best friend that as, I'm going to take this drastic measure out of the blue in order to prove it to her. Dr. Adam Carlson is just minding his own business and here comes Olive. Needless to say, it starts a fake dating relationship and then it also something in it for him. He's trying to prove to his bosses that he's not a flight risk. And it's a really interesting situation, but you just gotta take it with a grain of salt, you know? Like I said, it's a fluffy romance. I still gave this book 5 stars because I thought it was so cute. It was adorable. Props to Ali Hazelwood, honestly. I can't wait to read Love Theoretically. So the second book that I read in March was Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. This is definitely a literary fiction 5-star. Love literary fiction, and Sally Rooney is by far my favorite author in that category. I also gave Normal People by Sally Rooney 5 stars. It's honestly hard for me to summarize this book, but basically it's a 21-year-old and her best friend who she used to date. They're exes, but they're still friends, you know, sometimes that happens. They go to like these poetry nights or a literary club with this couple who's semi-famous. They end up getting kind of involved with the couple. What's her name? I literally forgot their names. Frances is in love with the husband, and it's a whole interesting situation. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I rated it 5 stars because of the writing, not necessarily because of the storyline. The thoughts from our main character, the topics of what is going on in the world, anxiety and everything definitely plays a part in this 5-star rating for me. Our main character, Frances, is very introspective, and as a very introspective 21-year-old, I could absolutely relate to this. Not because of the storyline, but just because of the anxiety and everything that she experiences. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this book to everyone. It's a very specific type of writing style and very specific type of story that can captivate some people, but it also can absolutely turn people away. I don't know what to tell you. If you're intrigued, absolutely go read this book. If you're kind of not really into morally gray stuff, probably not for you. So the third book that I read in March was The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. This isn't one that I have necessarily seen in any YouTube videos. I haven't really seen it all over the internet like most books that I typically pick up. I just randomly saw this on one of those middle tables at Barnes & Noble with all the different book recommendations on it. You know, the ones that say like book talk, books to read in spring. I saw it on like a romance table because it was February whenever I decided to pick it up. I thought that the cover of The Flat Share was adorable, and I thought that the premise for the storyline of The Flat Share was adorable. I ended up reading the book and gave it 5 stars because it was adorable. It definitely hits the comfort romance 5-star category. It made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I had outward emotions. It had me giggling and kicking my feet. On the back of the cover it said it's like a cup of hot tea. It'll heal you if you're hurting. That absolutely intrigued me. After reading the book, I would highly agree with those statements. Absolutely recommend this to anybody who's looking for just a good heartfelt romance that has a little more depth to it. Flat Share is about Tiffy and Leon, our main characters. Tiffy is going through a bad breakup at the current moment and she's looking for a place to stay. She needs it fast and she needs it cheap. So she sees a Flat Share ad on Leon's Facebook. She replies to it and they end up living together. Tiffy works during the day and Leon works during the night, and then on weekends Leon goes to his girlfriend's place. They never even meet each other until a ways down the road. They communicate through post-it notes. Ends up just being honestly the cutest story ever. Leon's brother is in jail. You get to see a little depth into Leon's family life. Tiffy is going through this bad breakup. It ends up giving her trauma, and so she's trying to work through that. That makes the characters a whole lot more realistic. I highly recommend that book. Absolute 5 stars. I wasn't gonna rate it that at first. I kind of had to sit with it for a little bit. I first started reading the book, I was like, man, this is probably like a 4-star read, and then I started getting further and further into it and I really couldn't find anything wrong with it. 5 stars, no doubt. So for the next part of the video, I'm going to show you guys my April TBR. I am very excited for this. I took a little different approach than I was originally going to, and I put covered books on my Instagram stories and put little emojis over them and had my followers pick one or the other. And I did this 3 different times so that I could have a total of 3 books to read for April. Because I read 3 books in March, I figured that was a pretty realistic number for me and how much I'm working and everything. So the first story that I put up was The Great Alone versus A Little Life. This ended up getting 40% for The Great Alone and 60% for A Little Life. Guys, please. I wasn't expecting that. And I didn't know what to do because this book is going to wreck me. Do I start it now and then finish it months down the road so that I don't read it all in one go, or do I sit down, take the time, and get it over with? I don't know. Needless to say, I will be continuing this book in April. I've already read 100 pages of it. That is on my radar for sure now, and thanks guys for doing this to me. The second story that I put up was Fourth Wing versus the Encyclopedia of Fairies. 56% went to Fourth Wing, 44% went to the Encyclopedia of Fairies, so Fourth Wing won. I am not gonna lie, I ended up DNFing this book. Read like 70 to 100 pages of it back in the fall. It was all over TikTok, all over YouTube, all over Instagram. This book was viral and everybody said that they loved it. I asked some friends and they were like, it was alright, it wasn't great. I was just really intrigued at this point in time. I read 70 pages of it. I wasn't loving it, so I put it aside. I was like, I'm gonna read this whenever I'm feeling maybe more in a fantasy mood. So I put these 2 books side by side. I ended up starting Fourth Wing, and then I ended up DNFing this book, and I have so many reasons why. I might have to put this in another video just because I have so many thoughts. So basically my plan for that is to read Encyclopedia of Fairies instead. Got 200 pages into Fourth Wing and I was like, this is just not doing it for me. So I need something that's not gonna put me into a reading slump. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. I would honestly say that whenever I thought of Fourth Wing, I thought of the Wings of Fire series that I read whenever I was like literally a child. I was thinking dragons, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, this has to be really good. I haven't heard of something like this in so long. The Wings of Fire series I thought was amazing as a kid. I was in middle school whenever I stopped reading it because the books were taking a while to come out. What I read of the series, I absolutely loved it. I hate to compare them, but whenever I thought of Fourth Wing, I was like, I feel like this has way less of a description on literally everything than the Wings of Fire series did. The Wings of Fire series is about war and stuff and training, all of that stuff too. It just felt like I was reading a very underdone YA novel that I probably would have enjoyed more if I was reading it when I was 12. It wasn't what I was expecting. It has so much potential to be a really good book, but I think that the way that it was done just wasn't it for me. If I read something that was what Fourth Wing was trying to accomplish when I was 12 and thought it was way better, then I'm not going to continue. I just can't do that to myself. That's the first book that I will DNF this year. Hopefully I don't DNF very many this year. Definitely going to try not to do that again. Somebody compared Dane to Gale from Hunger Games and then Xaden to the Lord of the Night Court, and I honestly laughed out loud. I absolutely 100% see the connection. I'm going to read Encyclopedia of Fairies instead. Hopefully I enjoy that one. I still want to read 3 books, and that was on my TBRs. I gave Fourth Wing a try. I really did. I gave it as much of a try as I could, but sadly it's a DNF for me. The next 2 that I put on my story were Love Theoretically or People We Meet on Vacation, and it started off with Love Theoretically getting so many more votes than People We Meet on Vacation, but then somebody voted at the very last hour or so that my story was up and ended up making it 50-50. I am just going to go with the one that was winning in the first place, and that was Love Theoretically. Instead of doing the story again, I feel like it just makes sense. Yeah, I ended up starting with Fourth Wing and DNF that, so we're gonna try Encyclopedia of Fairies, and then I'm probably gonna end up doing Love Theoretically next, and then A Little Life, because I want to save A Little Life for last. What month is it? Then we'll get into my May TBR. Oh, I wanted to show you guys. So Encyclopedia of Fairies has this sticker on it because it's the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, but I didn't realize that it's a real sticker because most of them nowadays have it completely printed on the book. Realized that I could take it off, and I don't know if I should actually take it off or not, if I should leave it. Comment below if you think I should take the sticker off or if I should just leave it. Really don't know. I clearly can't make decisions for myself. Also, if you were paying attention to my Instagram stories, I posted one day that I was trying to get through my physical TBR as much as I can before buying a Kindle, but I ended up not having to buy one. I got one handed down to me, very thankful for that. But I have a clear case coming in the mail tomorrow. I ordered that just off of Amazon. It was like $8. And then I'm gonna decorate it with a bunch of stickers. I tried going to a local bookstore today to get some stickers, but they were all way too big, because this is I think this is just the 6-inch one, so I need really small stickers to fit a few of them on here. I'm probably gonna be making a video as soon as I can of decorating my Kindle. That'll be so cute, so exciting. Also, let me know if you guys would like for me to do this again for May, or if you like to see a TBR jar. Honestly, this was so fun. I loved seeing my friends, my family, and also random Instagram followers interacting with my story to choose my April TBR. I thought it was so interesting, everything that everybody chose. I wasn't expecting such varying choices. I can't wait to tell you guys how my April reads go. So yeah, stay tuned for my next video, and thank you guys so much for watching.